Hello, everyone.
Welcome back to an episode of To Be in the Same Boat.
And we're your hosts, Karina
And Erica.
And today we're joined by
Omar and Steven.
Stevan, you know what I mean?
Stevan.
A little bit of
Whatever we're
I said, let me say it right this time.
yeah.
Stevan.
Yeah.
So, why are we joined today by our guest?
Do you want to talk a little bit about
how we know each other?
Yeah, and then we can dive into the topic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So, how do we guys know you? Well, we're in the same university.
So Stevan reached out to you first, no?
I
Probably.
think so. For mix.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
And then I remember that like Zoom call.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
You had the
then-
Zoom call with both of them.
First.
Yeah.
We talked to Erica first.
Oh, I was
wow,
the first
that
one.
was the
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
time we spoke to,
Really?
actually.
I'm honored.
Well, like at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I was very
no,
confused.
Not for the whole thing. Not
For
the whole thing.
me, that was the first time. I think you
Oh,
had reached out to me before.
yes.
And that was the first time I had
This
met
had been... Wow.
This was a long time
That
ago.
was like a
This
really
was
long time ago. We
a
were
year
doing
ago?
like
Yo, was
a
that
very...
Wait, that was
Remember?
just a year ago.
I don't remember where I was living at the time.
You were living in your old house because it was a year ago. It was like March of last year.
Oh, it was March of last year. Okay, so that would have
Really?
been right before
It
Star
was
Survivor.
Yeah. So it was at the time where we were doing like our very initial like
Discovery.
reaching out, discovery.
Learning.
So,
Yeah. Wow.
Basically, what Erica was not interviewing, having a conversation about is how to be international student.
How to be an international student.
Yeah. What the process was
that.
like.
Yeah.
Like I remember the questions was like, so what are you struggling with?
Yeah. I remember talking about like when I first came and then my struggles was like the main thing were like looking for like
Housing.
opening bank accounts and like SIM card, like the most basic things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you guys had a call with Karina. Did you guys talk to anyone else?
Yeah. So we can actually break down the whole story. Like.
Yeah.
go
We
for it.
had it's actually gonna be crazy. You know what? Perfect podcast story actually. So I'll like throw it way back there now. So
No, give all the context.
I guess it technically all starts in the summer before that year ever started, and the local incubator here was like advertising for some of their summer programs, and we were sitting on the couch one day, and they had just posted like the IG ads, and we were like, okay, cool, like this is something we definitely want to be a part of. Fast forward to August, me and my girlfriend are fighting like every single day at this point, right? Crazy transition.
Oh,
I
you've,
know, but,
you've
like,
been together for a long time then.
we were together for like 3 years, me and that girl.
okay,
So
okay.
like fighting a lot, you know what I mean? And then a bomb gets dropped out of nowhere talking about some, I don't know if I want to be together anymore,
Ooh.
right? So I was like, okay, shot, but keep it pushing. And we end up like breaking up beginning of September. Oh, it was the 16th. I remember this. It was the 16th. She comes, deads it. I'm like destroyed. You know what I mean?
Oof.
A week later, break my ankle, out for the season. And I've told this story so many times now. So it's a lot going on. I remember. And so we're just sitting there. I'm absolutely destroyed. Omar has to deal with all my bitching. Are we allowed to swear? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. So Omar has to deal with all my complaining all the time. And this girl's just like, she goes to Western, out partying all the time, getting super kind of living life.
Yeah.
And I remember being there and being like, yo, I got to get back to this girl. I broke my heart, type of thing. What are we going to do? We're going to become billionaires and make a company. Straight
Oh.
up. And so what are we going to do? My friend Seb at the time, he had a list of billion-dollar ideas in his phone. He was like, one of those guys had a good idea, would write it down right away. And so we were scrolling through the phone, and we stumbled upon a couple that just weren't the right fit. And then he had said something, which was Tinder for mentors. And we're like, yo, that could be the one. So we were like, you know what? We're going to build Tinder, but for mentors, because that sounds like a cool idea. And so we bring it to the Ford, and they're like, what? No. Like, this is not going to...
Oh, they said no?
You need to come up with, like,
So,
some
'cause-
kind of a roadmap. Yeah.
Yeah, they had said no initially also because we applied for like their most advanced program
Oh.
In November.
in November.
Yeah.
Like this was like we were barely even at just the idea stage.
Yeah.
And we thought like, no, we're good. Like let's do this. And I guess what is it, like 7 months later now? It's just we really realized that we weren't really going.
Yeah,
very
we were
well.
cooked. We were
Yeah.
cooked for applying. That's like
Absolutely
companies that are
crazy.
making like probably like $500K a year that we were applying to, and we had like zero, like nothing. Like there was literally nothing there. So we applied to that, get rejected. But it was cool because we got to meet like through the application process everyone that worked there.
Yeah.
So we just kind of stay in touch with them. And a lot of the feedback that they were kind of giving us outside of it was like, you need to pick a niche. And our first couple of years here, we had a ton of international student friends, especially because Omar was in engineering. Right, like everyone in engineering seemed to be an international student.
Yeah.
I don't know. So we were just like talking with them, and we were like, you know what? Who could really benefit from something like this? And then so that same kind of summer, we were doing our own job applications, and everyone was trying to get like a job, and they were clueless around this. Like, they were like, I don't know how to do this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what really is this? And so we kind of just took it from there, brought it back there, and started refining it slowly. And that's ultimately kind of how MENT came to be. We ended up getting accepted into a program much later on with the Forge, and like going through their whole thing, and like it was a really, really good experience, and definitely super thankful to have those kind of resources accessible on campus and like kind of right there. So yeah, that's the story of how we kind of turned heartbreak into a company, I guess.
But it was your heartbreak.
Yeah, my heartbreak.
And you pulled Omar into it, or you guys like you both worked on it
It
together?
was Seb's idea.
Seb's idea, actually,
It was
Seb's
Seb's
idea,
idea.
your
We were
heartbreak.
basically all just in the same place. This guy had just gotten broken up with. I had some like things that were going on in my life as well, Seb too. So we were all just like we need something to either, number one, get our minds off of this, and then like number two, actually like do something with our lives, and then just like get our degrees, do school, do that. So yeah, I just went through Seb's little like note, saw like a bunch of ideas he had. That's when we kind of all set our eyes on, and as the rest is history for now. But
yeah, still building.
I have a question about that. Do you guys think like men in general try to do things because of something happening and they're like they want to almost like prove it?
100%.
Really?
If I wasn't like
If you weren't heartbroken.
No. But even think about like earlier days, like when I was just trying to play basketball in university, and like the amount of training I was doing, I would not be able to train if I didn't like in the back of my head say, I gotta prove this person wrong. I gotta prove this person wrong. I gotta prove this person wrong.
Is it mostly girls or is it just?
nah,
I'm not gonna
it's
lie, I
just people
didn't
in
really
general.
care about girls that much, but like little subtle shots being thrown from teammates and like coaches and like, you know, parents were a big one too, because especially having immigrant parents, and you're like coming here and like I'm telling them I want to go play professional basketball, and they're like, that's not happening. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to school. Like, I didn't immigrate for you to like go play basketball. You know what I mean? Like, so that was definitely a big one too. Was just like trying to prove to them that like I could actually get a scholarship, go play school. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Wait, the same for you as well?
Yeah.
For me, it's a little bit different, but I do 100% agree, and I don't think it's just men. I think everyone in general, like you do things because something is pushing you to do it. Like there's a reason why you do what you do, and whether that reason is to prove somebody wrong, whether that reason is just, I guess, to better yourself. There always is a reason to do what you do. For us specifically in this situation, we were at times of our lives where like things weren't really going very well, so we kind of felt like we didn't just want to be doing school. Like I didn't just want to be working towards an engineering degree. Neither was Seb. He didn't just want to be like playing for McMaster men's basketball and, you know, getting a kinesiology. We want to do something a little bit outside of that, and kind of just at the end of the day like make a name for ourselves and kind of try to leave like a legacy behind. So I think that's ultimately just what's like what motivates me specifically for now. But
I was just having this conversation with my guy friends the other day, and it was like, I feel like most of the time guys are doing things to prove something to someone, whereas girls do it like way less. Because within girls, I don't hear that a lot.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes it's more like unconsciously.
Maybe.
So-
like you were saying how you think everyone has that like motivating
so like
factor.
if I flip the question to you, right? Like
Yeah.
everything you're doing right now with Mix, like all the events you're throwing and everything like that. Like why are you putting so much effort towards like the Mix Club, for example?
I want to help people.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the very basic, but like it's true. I wouldn't say I want to prove to people that I can do better. But also there's a point of like I want to prove to people back home.
What about like proving to yourself though?
Yeah.
Proving to myself, probably. Like I can do it. Yeah, I guess.
I think for us it's just competitiveness. Like we are ridiculously
I think the
competitive
guys are
to
more
to a
competitive in
different
general.
level.
No,
though.
for sure.
No,
Like to a different
yeah.
level. Like we do like borderline like
Yeah.
shady stuff to still end up like winning, and we justify it every single time. Like
And I think it has to do with like both of our backgrounds. Like we both, number one, both immigrant parents. Like I myself, I'm an immigrant. Like I wasn't born in this country, so there's always that like a lot of pressure that's placed on you from like a very young age to be better than everyone, and to like, you know, like your parents came from a completely different country to start a completely different life here. They didn't really know anyone, so I feel like I also kind of owe that to them in a sense. And then also just the nature of like being in sports our whole lives, right? Like it's like you're even worse, like when I was in Egypt, right? This is when I was young, right? Like coaches in Egypt, like there is no like rules, there's no regulations, right? Like there's no like, you can't like touch the kids, you can't do this. No, like they're hitting you, like you get beat,
same.
so things like that.
Yeah.
So it's like it gets to a level where when you're just around like those environments,
yeah, and plus
life,
if you lose, you're called a failure from a young
Exactly,
age, right? You're put in
exactly.
sports when you're like 5, 6, and like for the next 10 years, you're told if you win, it's good. And if you lose, like, it's bad, right? And, like, that's kind of that dichotomy, I feel like, with the Canadian culture. Like, a lot of my friends weren't the same way. But at the end of the day, it's like a trade, because even I've seen it through. Like, if you're not choosing to kind of put those, I guess, boundaries on yourself and push yourself that way, like, you just might not ending up where the other person who's willing to do that will. And that's like the trade-off. It's like you might not put yourself through mentally everything that they're going to go through, but you also won't physically be in the same place after that. Yeah. Right? So it's like you just kind of got to figure out which one you're okay with living with.
I think the competitiveness is definitely true. Everyone who grew up doing some type of sport, they all are competitive.
That's hustle culture, man. What do you guys think about hustle culture, though? This is a big one, because we went to a workshop last year about hustle culture. Oh, I think it was last year. It was last year. Kiana was running it. Okay. Shout out Kiana, man. She's really cool people. But she was running a workshop on hustle culture, and especially with like business and things like that. I'm curious on what you guys think about it, because we had some interesting thoughts there as well.
Really? I feel like I'm all about it.
You definitely are.
I think I'm just trying to like utilize my like 20s to hustle so I can not hustle later on. And like for me personally, I enjoy it, but also because like personally I like kind of suppress my emotions a lot, and hustling and like doing work is kind of how I distract myself. So I'm all about it.
I think I am too, just because of, again, how I grew up, like always doing some things. And it's kind of hard not to do things. Like this reading week, we weren't doing much. And I was just like, what am I doing with my life? And the same thing with like suppressing emotions. But I've been trying to find more like balance in things, because I feel like I tend to go into one, like hustling too much, and then I get burnt out.
I think it affects my mental health a lot. So.
Okay, so I'm gonna drop something. We don't think burnout is real, and like we say this all the time. I actually wanted to ask about that. And I'll explain our philosophy, and it goes back to like
you both think this
for the most part, yeah. And I'm gonna say this, like I think you are okay. Here's where we can start from. Okay. If you place two people inside a house, and let's just say it's a haunted house, right?
A haunted house.
One of them believes in ghosts, and the other one doesn't. Right? Okay. One of them will be able to get through the night, no problem, while the other person is worried the whole time and might not even be able to make it through the whole night. And so the thing is, like, it's probably real if we had to sit here and, like, actually say, like, yeah, is burnout real and things like that. But, like, how many times do people just, like, claim burnout before they ever even actually get to that point as just, like, I'm tired, I don't want to do this right now kind of thing?
That I agree.
And put those self-limiting factors on myself versus, like, but you don't know your full potential until you actually kind of like cross the line and figure out exactly where that is.
It's such a not Canadian thing to say right now. Like that's something like my dad would say.
But it's a very extreme way of thinking.
Yeah.
But there also is that little bit of truth to it, where like if you convince yourself that something doesn't exist, you can do much more than some other people would. Like, if you convince yourself that, like, you are physically incapable of being burnt out, then you will probably get much further. You definitely will at some point feel that little bit of a burnout, but you just will feel it much later when you're, like, actually physically can't do the work anymore, rather than just getting into your own head about it and convincing yourself, like, oh, I'm a little too tired to do this, I'm a little too tired to do that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think burnout is real, but I don't think, like, everyone's getting burnt out, like, every other day. Like, that's just being tired.
So, what you're saying, too, it's not like it's not real. Even the haunted
I'm saying it's not real for us. I'm just saying it's not real for us.
So you guys don't ever get burnt out?
We probably do. But then
you just push it away.
How do you get burnt out if you don't admit that it's burnout?
But eventually it's going to become worse.
Because look, there's this idea which is like
delusion.
That's the male version of like female delusions.
Yeah, 100%.
No, literally.
I'm
the whole
not
competitiveness and the pushing yourself to prove that's the male version of delusions.
I think burnout is real very much, but I do think people talk about it a little bit more than
it's certainly been leveraged in a couple places.
Like a lot of times I'm like, relax, like you're not doing much. Why?
Okay, but here's the other thing. We don't care. Like that's the other thing is like I remember. Like one thing I've also learned is like you can't judge other people for their capacity to go through things, because they might just be operating like different people have different kind of capacities for things, right? And like my capacity for a certain area might be worse than yours, and vice versa, right? So for me to be like, oh, like I could easily do that, like you can't do that. And the other thing is people actually like take that so hard, you know what I mean? Like, what do they say? Like the axe forgets, the tree remembers. You know what I mean? And it's because like you're gonna sit there and like they might be really feeling like they're putting their all into it, and you're sitting there being like, "Come on, man, it's not even that hard, right?" And strategically speaking, later down the line, like you want to keep everyone at like a good level, right? Because later down the line, who knows? You might run into them, leverage them in any kind of way possible. And like it ends up just being a disadvantage to you. And if you're truly about the hustle culture and you're trying to get to the highest level you can, it's just not, even from a strategic perspective, it's not necessarily the best idea to like make people angry at you, right?
Do you think you had burnout, but you just kind of like suppress it because you don't believe in it?
Probably,
but you develop through it. Yeah. You develop directly in proportion to whatever you're willing to take on.
It's like any kind of conditioning, right? Like if you condition yourself for sports, right? Like if you keep running, you're going to develop your stamina a little bit more. You're going to be able to run for longer, right?
But it's kind of like, okay, so if you keep running and you hurt yourself, but you're like, I'm not in pain. I mean, you just keep running. It's going to become worse and you're going to like break your ankle one day.
Okay, so actually really good example about that. I'm related to a sport that I did a lot as a kid. So I started doing mixed martial arts when I was like 4 years old. So I've been doing that my whole life. In Thailand, Muay Thai fighters, what they do is they go in the jungle, they find banana trees, and they keep kicking them over and over again, 100%. So here in Canada, we don't really have banana trees like that, so you can't do that. So what did my coach used to do? He used to, and this was like, that's something you get a little bit more developed. They used to give you like beer bottles, like glass beer bottles, and you'd like roll them on your tibias. So that you condition
your shin. That's your shin for all my non-anatomical people.
So that's like you condition your shin even more so that once you do kick somebody, your leg doesn't break or your leg doesn't hurt too much. So that's kind of like conditioning just to develop yourself and be able to go through more of the pain, go through more of like the struggle. And I feel like it's the same thing, not just with sports, not just with like physical pain, but with mental pain as well, right? Like if you keep pushing yourself past that breaking point, that breaking point keeps moving further and further and further and further.
I think. Wait, do you guys think it's like in Canada people are like touchy and feely a lot?
More sensitive.
1000%.
Yeah, North America in general.
Yes.
North America,
like snowflake.
And I feel like recently it's gotten even worse. And I know Steven can back me on this.
We're about to get
we feel like we're so about to get canceled. But
That's how you get viral.
It's a sense of
for me. You can submit an MSAF at this point without like no kind of like documentation.
I
remember it. Yeah, like
which I can't lie, it's been helpful, but it's been
helpful.
Wait, for real?
But it's
You
like
don't have, like,
it's even like little. No, you don't need it anymore. You can just check off like mental health, and that's kind of just all you got to do. And we were actually talking about this. We're like, at what point do you think they're probably not even gonna have tests in school anymore, like exams, because kids are gonna be too stressed taking them, right? And like I said, there's a direct kind of like decrease in the capacity of like the younger generation, I think. And I think back to like I said, it all comes down to you develop in proportion to what you're willing to take on. And there's like there's no advantage in choosing to kind of step, away from anything that kind of causes you discomfort, because later down the line, you're going to meet those challenges no matter what. Like I'm a big believer, and that's kind of predetermined later down the line, and all like the little struggles you're going through right now are just preparing you for those ones later down the line. So you choose either, you choose to suffer either willingly or life's going to have a great one for you around the next corner.
Yeah. Wait, okay, so just for what are your backgrounds? Because I feel like
I was about to say.
We relate to that. We're like Central Asian, Southeast Asian. Where are you
from? And then you said you didn't like your.
And then we'll go back to that. Yeah. I have something to add.
Okay, so my parents were both Serbian. Back then it was Yugoslavia, so they were going through a civil war in 1999. So they had come here, basically started new life. They were 26 when they came here, which is crazy to think about because I'm 21 now. And I can't imagine like moving to a brand new country, not knowing the language, and having to kind of just like figure it all out from there. But yeah, that's kind of my background. He's got a little bit of a different story though.
I can take up like a whole segment talking about my background, but I'm gonna keep it as simple as possible. My whole family's from Egypt, like all the way down to like great grandparents. So there's like only pure Egyptian blood in that family.
His initials are on the side of the pyramid. I swear to God.
Yeah.
I swear to God. It says
if you go to the pyramids, it says like
Asmi on the side. Asmi on the side.
Yo, I almost had you there for a second.
No, she believed it.
I don't believe it.
But so we came here in 2010. I was 7 years old. I came with my two younger siblings and just my mom for the first year, and then my dad came like a year after. So,
are you the oldest?
Yes. Yeah, I'm the oldest of three.
Are you the
brother,
only?
younger sister.
I have a twin.
You have a twin? You have a twin?
So
what?
I have a fraternal twin. He goes to Waterloo for computer science. He's at home right now. He's on co-op at IBM.
Shout out, Andrea.
Yeah, my parents love him. Man. Double degree.
Love him.
Double degree.
So I don't be like the whole time while I'm like training to go play basketball, I'm telling him I want to go play pro basketball. This guy gets into comp sci at Waterloo, and then he goes double degree at Laurier, taking business there as well. So he's taking 2 degrees in like 4 years. Now he's working for IBM, just making a ton of money. Yeah, my dad and him are like close, man.
This feels like it's going somewhere else.
But no, that's my guy still. So he's 5 minutes younger than me, but that's forever gonna be my little brother right
That's
there.
crazy.
That's why I was like, I'm gonna actually open my own company.
That was the motivating factor.
Exactly.
Probably.
Exactly. I'm on the business side. He's more on the tech side, because. No, but great guy. I definitely think that's important too. Like having siblings growing up.
1,000%.
I was so lucky to have a twin, because like I could do everything with him. You know what I mean?
Having a twin is crazy.
And you know what's even crazy? We lived together the whole time, obviously in Toronto, where we grew up, and then we got so much closer once we got to university. I don't know what it is about that, right? But like, even on like a different level, like even the things we started talking about and how we were there for each other definitely changed a lot. So, what about you guys? What does that kind of look like for you guys?
I have an older brother. He's 5 years older than me, and he also did like comp sci Waterloo,
5 years,
tech industry, like doing his thing. But
I'm the oldest. My younger sister's, what is she? 14?
14.
Okay.
Just
What's the relationship there like?
That's a similar situation as me then.
Are you guys close to your siblings?
Yeah, I would say so. As much as I can, because she's all the way back.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then the difference also like 7 years is kind of a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
But you guys are like pretty close.
But
you lived in the same room growing up, which was like crazy to me.
Yeah. That's the same with me too. So I lived in the same room as my brother too until we were probably like 7 or 8, and then we finally managed to get
7 or 8, brother.
Yeah, this guy's a lot longer.
Yeah, no, my younger brother, like, we used to fight a lot as kids, right? Like always, like it was always love. I always loved that kid. But
yeah, same. I think it's a brother thing. You just
like,
fighting.
a lot. Like
a lot of scars.
I remember one time my mom gets a call from school and taking like me and my brother like it's like a 2-year difference between us, 3 years in terms of like school years, right? So when I was like in grade 12, he was in what would be like grade 9. I remember when we were kids, my mom gets a call from the school on some like we were fighting at recess, and like it was like straight like fists, like we were punching each other. And I remember my mom comes to the school, and on the car ride back, she's crying and she's like, "I don't know why you guys just don't love each other. I failed as a parent." And I was
like that too.
You're not sad for your brother. Who are you gonna be there?
literally. She goes, you guys only have each other. Like at the end of the day, you only have each other. And
That's what my mom always says to me. Yeah. That's literally what my mom always says to me.
And then you guys never fought ever again.
But that no. There was much more fights after that. But I think like the older you get, like number one, it's love. Number two, the older you get, like the older you get, the more things you can talk about with your siblings.
That's
really
true.
The closer you're gonna
with
get.
With the parents too, I feel like.
Right? With your parents too, 100%, right? So like, even like
parents, especially. Especially.
Yeah. Like I feel like at a certain point, I think this is true for everyone or most people. At a certain point in your life, you go from just being like father son or like mother son to like having your parents as like kind of like a friend.
And you know what that is? It's a trust thing. Because if you think about it, your parents now trust that you're able to handle those problems and navigate through them. Right? Because I was even talking about it with my mom the other day. Like, my mom's biggest fear was me getting into drugs when I was growing up. And I don't know why. Because, but I was like telling her, I'm like, no matter what you say to a kid, if they want to, they're going to end up getting into it. Right? And like, now I'm telling her, like, the other day she's asking me how my friends are doing. I'm like, yeah, a lot of them are on this and this and this and this. And she's like, wow, are you doing that? I was like, no, man. Because like, those values were kind of instilled, but we can have conversations around that now, and it's nice to know that like my parents have my back in those situations. Like,
100%.
That's another thing. You can't be like scared to like, and you should want to like kind of keep them involved. And it's the same thing with siblings as well. Like you wanna trust that you can like handle their problems as well and be able to be there for them, because I think that's what's ultimately gonna.
See, I feel like from the parent side, that really comes down to the parents though.
Yeah, like I'm fortunate. Like, I have the most. I have immigrant parents, but they're very progressive. Very progressive. And even though from like third world country, like super like conservative when they first came here, I've been lucky enough that they've been able to like open their minds to a lot of things, and I was able to do a lot of stuff when I was growing up. Had a lot of freedoms that I don't think a lot of other kids have. So
100%, it's nothing but gratitude towards that, right? Like, I feel like parents play a really big role in like in their kids' lives, and if as a parent you can like make your kids trust you and be able to tell you anything, even if it's like terrible. Like there's some really bad things that I've told my parents, right? And they're like, just knowing that their reaction isn't gonna be like a really bad reaction is just very like calming. It'll actually like get you to actually like be able to tell them things and then open up to them, and then as well, it also teaches you that you can open up to other people, right? So it just teaches you that kind of value and like communication that a lot of people.
I'm curious. Do you guys think you're gonna be good parents?
I think so. I want to hope so.
I feel like everyone's.
I never know if I want to be a parent.
Wow. Bomb dropped.
I've said this before in the podcast.
She said that. I think for me, I definitely want to be a mom, and I think I want to I hope I will be a good mom. Like, you never know till it actually comes out of you.
Yeah.
You're like, okay. And the whole thing about trust is just like, I think you're so scared for your kid. Like, you can't even, I had a conversation with my mom about it, and she was like, you can't explain it until you're actually in that position.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But then I think for both of us, just going back to the conversation of trust, I think both of our relationship with our parents became better when we moved away.
Oh, 100%. Not even better, just like more open. I used to be very like,
oh yeah,
I don't tell them anything.
Yeah.
Like we're always very good relationship, but I never told them anything about my life.
Yeah.
But you kind of did.
I did. I talked to my parents like before and like
Yeah.
about things, but like I feel like when I moved away, I started saying like everything.
More things, yeah.
Right.
Like
To
okay,
this day, I
not
still can't say
everything.
everything.
Okay, not
Yeah, no,
everything,
there's
not everything, but like
Especially last year. No way.
okay,
Like
almost everything.
like a percentage.
But like, you know, we're saying about like drugs, like having
yeah.
open conversations about that. It's
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah, for sure.
like people smoke weed here. Like I've tried it. They're like, okay, how
You
was
told your
it?
mom you smoke? Oh,
Yeah,
my,
after-
I'd be dead.
I wouldn't
I'd be
say
dead.
that.
No, but it was like it wasn't like after I did it. It was like a while after, and I was like, yeah, I tried it like a
But
while
then
ago.
you can justify it. Like, it's illegal. It's illegal. Like everyone
Yeah.
does it.
And it's
Nah,
like
parents don't
again,
give a
my
shit
parents are
for
very.
that. Crazy.
My
Mama, book
parents
a
are
flight.
young too.
With a hint of
so
gaslighting, you can, I think.
that, but then my parents are young too, so they're
That's
like
true.
they want me to go out and try
Yeah.
things.
How young is young?
Well, my mom had me when she was 21.
Okay,
Oh,
wow.
wow.
My dad was 23.
So imagine you having a kid right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, literally.
crazy,
Yeah, it's
So-
wild.
crazy. I mean, Omar already has a kid.
Okay.
But
Can
Oh,
you not expose my child on the podcast?
okay.
but no, that's crazy. So what was that like? Growing up with I guess younger parents, completely different culture though. I will say that. Like I guess that's a little bit different
I guess.
in
Oh.
Asia than it is over here.
I think in like USSR, post-USSR
Yeah.
countries like Kazakhstan, Russia, whatever, Uzbekistan, whatever it might be, I think it's more normal for us to have
Yeah.
families like
100%.
younger. 'Cause,
Like younger parents.
Yeah, like all my friends that are like, their parents had them at like 22, 23, 24. If it's the
Really?
first kid. 'Cause I'm
Yeah.
the first kid too, so.
Was there any expectation for you to kind of like
100%.
figure it out early on?
Because also I'm the oldest like in the whole family. All of my
Like
cousins are
cousins.
all younger.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a lot of expectations, and I was like an A student, and then you went far away to like whatever, do your thing. So it's like even still now, it's like okay, you need to get a good job.
Yeah.
Nobody says that to me directly, but the pressure
It's,
is
it's
still
You kinda
on.
implied,
set
it's
the
implied,
bar.
Yeah.
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 So both of you guys are gonna live here then, I'm assuming after graduation.
That's the plan for
That's the
now.
plan.
Okay.
We don't know yet.
Looking for that
But
post graduation
probably.
employment.
Yeah, actively looking.
We are actively looking
Tap
if somebody
in,
wants to reach out to us. Actually,
I'll drop my resume in the bio.
LinkedIn also.
connect with us on LinkedIn.
Yeah. But-
Interesting.
I don't know.
I wanted to go to more like male perspective. On
Let's do it.
things.
Hey man,
Let's
go
do it.
ahead.
Can guys and girls be friends? Is that the first one?
That's a great
Oh.
question.
The answer is
It's
no.
The answer is
Really?
100.
Karina
answer
always
is
says
no.
no. I
Answer
think
is no.
yes.
Finally,
I'm-
someone who's willing to
thank
admit the
you,
truth.
thank
I
you.
agree.
I've never had a
100%.
platonic relationship
And
with a girl
every
before in my
single
life.
Thank you.
every single
I
person
have.
knows it. They just don't
No.
want to admit
They
it.
just want to admit it. It's only a
I'm
matter of
sorry.
time. It's only a matter of
Men
time.
and
And then
women
circumstances
cannot be
change, and one
friends.
person is in the other
Yep,
person's bedroom.
exactly.
I don't want to be the one to say it. I don't want to be the
This
one to say
sounds
it.
like it's coming from personal experience. I'm just saying.
No, not me.
It may not, right? But at the end of the day, it's as simple as you will end up developing feelings for
One way or
one
another.
person. Whether it's one
One
way or
person.
the
Oh my
other.
God.
Either somebody's gonna get hurt or that relationship is no longer gonna be platonic.
If this is all the case, if both of them are straight.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Obviously.
Now, don't get me wrong. You can have friends, like men and women can be friends
Yeah.
if there's an extra layer of something in there.
Like a boyfriend
They can be
involved.
friends.
a girlfriend.
They can
Like
be
your
friends.
boyfriend's friend.
Like a boyfriend involved, or like if you work in the same place, right? Like, or you have.
But even when you work in the same place, I swear to God, like, I mean, I'm not talking from my own personal experiences. I just want to let that be known. But like, I don't
if you
know.
work in the same-
I feel like as long as
You're not talking about my experience. You talking about- 'cause I'm trying to think
Talking
now.
about
Like,
experience now.
I swear to God, the closer you are,
No,
like
I
in
agree.
proximity, you see them every single day. It's only a matter of time
Yeah,
before
of
you fall
course.
in love with them. I
Yep.
swear to God.
Yep.
Again,
the more you see
I
them, the more you
wasn't
talk
falling
to
in love
them,
with
when you have,
anybody,
like,
I feel like it's like how close you are. You can be like friendly.
You
with
can be
people.
friends. You can be best friends.
Listen, it's as simple as this.
No.
Me and my exes of 4 years started
Yeah.
off as friends.
yeah, you always start off.
How
as
did you guys
friends.
meet?
Oh, I've known her since I had known her
Oh,
since I was like
okay.
6.
Have you
It's
guys
been a
never
while,
heard that
but-
song? The quote by Drake. He said, "You said he's just a friend, girl. I used to be your friend too." You guys have never heard that?
Ooh.
Bar.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like
No, okay, you're just delusional.
Okay,
I
don't
swear
wanna,
to God.
Go text
No,
him and
it's
say, yo, we
true.
should hang out like later. And see if he doesn't say yes
like,
right away. That's
that
another thing.
That ass.
That's another thing.
And it's always like because I have a lot of guy friends, and I always lose them when they get in a relationship. It's like, oh, he's gone now. It's not like we're not friends anymore. Like we can hang
You're just
out
not as
once in a
close
while.
as you were.
But yeah,
Which,
it's not
yeah.
like
But
on
also,
a daily.
what does it say about a guy? Do you want to talk to a guy who has like 12 friends that are girls? No, you don't.
No.
Yeah. See? So you know it secretly yourself. You
I
know what
guess
mean?
so.
You just choose to apply it to whatever situation you choose to apply it to.
I think it's the way the question is worded, right? Like a lot of people hear like, can men and women be friends? And they're like, yeah, of course. But it's like you really start thinking about it, and you really start thinking of like examples in your personal life
Yeah.
and examples like of people you know, and you're like,
I don't think it's like genuine friends
they can.
either.
It can't be.
You can be genuine friends.
You don't go through
you
the
can be
same
like
things.
friendly, again,
Yeah.
acquaintances, friendly, sure, but never like actual, truly, you know.
But guys and girls also just live such different lives. That's another thing too.
That's true.
And to a certain level, you need to
Yeah.
be, especially the older you get and the more kind of limited your availability is, both emotionally and kind of physically, you need to somewhat be on the same track as the person you're spending a lot of time with,
1,000%.
right?
I agree.
And the only person you should be willing to sacrifice that for is for someone that you know you're
Someone
looking
who's
at.
your partner.
Exactly, right? Because I think even back to my girlfriend, and I'm like, that's the only person I'm probably willing to like actually like move some stuff for and accommodate for. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
That
I
makes
can't
sense.
imagine doing that and justifying just how important she is to me as another person who's not like one of my boys who I'm actively working and building together with something. You know, so
That's so fair. I had a question about that. It's like there is like a box theory for guys. I've seen this on TikTok. It's like if a guy puts you in the box of like a friend, you're probably never gonna lose that. You're
Or
probably
leave
never
that
gonna
box.
leave that box and go into like.
if a guy puts a girl in a
Wait,
box,
hold on.
Yeah.
We're talking
So
about the friend zone.
how many boxes are there?
I guess. Well, I don't know. You tell me. But I'm assuming like friend, attracted.
Like
Maybe
Nah,
friend
it's all
and
just one big
potential?
box.
I think
It's just one
boxes.
pool.
I
Just
think
two.
Nah, I
It's a
don't, I
2
don't
by
know
2
what the
grid.
actual boxes are.
It's a 2 by 2 grid. It's like not willing to be a friend, not attracted, willing to be.
Oh,
Yeah.
and then you like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
combine. It's like a
Interesting.
matrix. Got
Interesting.
it, got it,
I,
got it.
I just
When you
wanna-
first meet a girl.
Yeah, like when you first, because I've talked about
That's interesting. When you
like,
first
is that
meet a girl.
true? I saw that on TikTok and I was like, wait, that makes sense. Because it's like, okay, they either find you attractive and they can see something happening later on,
No, wait something. You know, I don't know if this is.
Wait,
just
hold
me,
on, hold
but
on. I
I
want to hear the rest of this. I wanna hear the
Yeah,
rest of
yeah,
this,
yeah.
bro.
or it's just like she's a nice girl, but I'm not attracted to her and never will be, and she'll never leave that friend zone. Because a lot of times for girls, they put a guy into friend zone and then he
And then
leaves
it
that.
develops.
For girls, it's so common,
Okay.
but then for guys, I barely see that.
I want to hear Steve's opinion on this. And I'm gonna drop a little
I
bar.
don't like if a girl's like. There's. I even think about it like. I don't know. There's been like 1 or 2 girls where I've been like. I think to a degree it's the same thing. I swear to God, there's been 1 or 2 girls where I've been like, nah, like not my type, and then like 2 or 3 years later, I'm like, 2 or 3 years later, because I'm really into like, if I can have like a great conversation with you, I think that's number 1 for me. Like I love conversation and communicating about just like topics and being challenged mentally at least. And I think as soon as I see someone has the capacity to do that, I'm like, wow, you know, like, you know, you definitely took a step out of the box. I'm not saying you're completely out of it, but you definitely took a step out of the box for me. Because attractiveness is like, you can find attractive girls everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, that's generally it.
Yep.
I remember, like, anywhere. That's the best part about being a guy and being rejected is like, if a girl rejects you, her friend probably looks better, so you might as well just go talk to her. You know what I mean?
It sounds a little bit fucked up, but he's not wrong.
Sure,
He's not
sure.
wrong.
No.
Wait, is that actual the thing? Is like if she rejects you, you'll go to her friend?
No, you won't
Like,
probably
not
go to her
necessarily,
friend, but
like,
it's
it's
just
just
like the
like a little
idea
saying.
of like, you know, like, there's no reason
Like,
to,
there's
like,
no shortage.
just because
of
one girl who's
attractive
attractive, like,
That's true,
says
especially
says
in
something to
Canada.
you. Exactly, right? Like, there's, especially in Toronto.
Toronto.
Some of our, like, best friends live in Toronto, and they're, like, a little bit older than us, 24, 25, and, like, we go back and see what kind of lives they're living. It's like a revolving door. 'Cause there's people always coming in and out of Toronto, right? So you live in, like, big cities like that. You're meeting different kinds of people every single day. So I don't know.
Okay, do you agree with that?
I do actually, and I was gonna say like something very similar to what he was saying about like the whole like looks thing. My dad actually told me this a while back. He said, like, looks don't really matter as much as you think they do because number one, there's like we were saying, right? Like, there's no shortage of attractive looking women, and then number two, you will probably end up not necessarily accepting, but if like liking somebody's looks, even if you didn't like them at first, right? And I feel like you can't just separate like the emotional attractiveness with like the physical attractiveness. Like
You
those two
can't
things,
separate
you
it.
cannot separate those, because you can have like a really, really, really physically attractive girl, and then you start talking and you realize like, wow, like it's actually really hard to hold a conversation with you because.
Okay, but you know what that is, bro? Name me one person between the ages of 18 and 24, guy or girl, who looks really, really good. That's a good person. Yeah, like they don't exist.
Yeah. Okay, but now we're getting into like
no, but like really good looking.
Yeah.
Really
like a 10,
and they're like
I'm talking
10,
like an 11 out of 10.
Because why? Like people are validating you throughout your whole life, probably
without even having to talk to you.
Without you having to do anything. Yes. You know what I mean? Like the way it should work is like you go out, you work really hard, you finally achieve something, and so you learn what it's like to work hard and finally get it. But when you like don't have to work very hard and you're automatically handed things, you start thinking that like you just deserve things. You know what I mean? And I see it all the time. Like the big one is like
and even let's not even like even relate this to like attractiveness for people. Just
I was gonna say sports.
Yeah, related to sports.
Like
because that's a real one.
Guys like all the time they call them like bounce backs. So like guys are like projected when they're 14 years old. You know what I mean? Top athletes, ready to go to like the league, NBA, whatever, go play. Mm-hmm. And like they're from 14 years old told at 14, mind you, so you haven't done anything really in your life. You probably become conscious at like
14. You're a child.
Yeah, you probably become conscious at like 7 years old. So you've probably only been like functioning as a person for 7 years, right? But you're told like you're going to the NBA, you're gonna be handed $30 million a year. You know what I mean? When you're 19, like you're the best. Mm-hmm. And so you're just told that you deserve all this, right? That you were born and that you're the luckiest person ever, and that like everyone needs to be treating you like this. And not only that, they are treating you like that because let's say you do make it to the NBA, everyone's gonna want a piece of the check. Right? And then what happens when that person gets injured when they're like 20 years old and they're no longer of use to anybody because like nobody likes them? But not only that, they're horrible people. They end up like snapping on everyone and mistreating a lot of people. And I've seen it myself when like I have teammates that were supposed to go Division 1 and then they did go Division 1 and then they were averaging a lot of points and they're ready to go to the NBA. ESPN is ranking them top 100 and then they come back here and they're like just dickheads. Like they're just like.
Do you mean like not good people?
Not good people.
Like kind and whatever.
They're just like you look at someone. They're either a good person, like they're a nice person, somebody you would hang around, or you just look at them. It's like you're not a good guy. You don't really do much.
But you're saying
you're not really fun to like hang around.
But you're saying like a good-looking person.
It's the same way.
It's the same way
because you're being like, for example, a girl turns what 18, 19, and there's some like millionaire hitting her up on IG being like, "Yo, come slide to the party," right? And it's like. From the other side of things, that guy had to make how much money to even be able to like afford to go into that party from like a subjective view.
Okay, wait, I'm confused. So we are saying, you guys are saying that let's say a 10 can be also.
I'm not saying 11.
No. So I'm saying no. I'm saying
Kendall Jenner.
Here's the thing. No. So I'm differentiating right now, like somebody who had to, and it's just like as a general statement, somebody who had to work towards what they have versus somebody who was like basically born into it or has like a natural talent for something. So if you are like naturally very, very pretty, very, very good looking, you're doing this versus like, let's say you were like 13 years old, fat as shit, and you had to like work to where you are right now, right? And you had to like build yourself to where you are.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right? There's like that's the difference that we're talking about.
Yeah,
here. Like, when somebody's just naturally given something or you're naturally gifted,
you tend not to develop.
You tend not to really develop your emotional intelligence very much.
You don't have to, right?
That makes sense. Okay, because I was just like the statement of like the person can be attractive and kind. That just like wrote something in my mind.
Let's hope I cleared that.
No, but this whole time I was just like, I've never met an 11 out of 10. So I was like,
you've never met an 11 out of 10?
No, have you?
Really? You've never met someone where you're like, you don't even fit on the scale?
Shout out. Girlfriend?
So you've never met my girlfriend.
Good job.
I was like, good answer. Shout out.
I'm just saying like realistically. Wait, you haven't? 11, who is 11 out of 10? Not my words, his words.
Theo James, that will be an 11.
Theo James.
Well, yeah, if you meet it, if you meet him.
I don't get it.
Okay, but also the thing
is the way he looked at that one girl in the movie. I swear to God.
What movie?
Everyone's so obsessed with
Divergent. I'm assuming that's when you fell in love with him, was when you saw him in Divergent.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
No, but also the thing about guys is like a lot of times they don't look good in like pictures and stuff, and then you see them, and I feel like that goes into like you can't separate the physical and emotional, because like I can't truly, because I see them and it's like that's how I see the person that they're putting on, like as a whole.
I mean, I'm just like the least photogenic guy, so I definitely relate to that. Like if you were to just judge me on my pictures, you'd be like, ugh. You know what I mean? But then eventually I'll say something smart in person, and I'll probably move up the rankings a little bit. Theo James though, interesting.
Theo James. Wait, but that question though, attractiveness, like physically. So let's say you meet this girl and she's like a 6 to you.
Okay.
And you fall in love with her.
Right.
Why?
And you love her, like, personality, everything.
Okay.
She's like the love of your life.
Okay.
Is she going up the ranking, like attractiveness?
1,000%.
Yeah?
Of course.
But just physically.
But it also depends, I think, what part you are in your life. Because in different parts of your life, you value different things.
Yes,
when you're
but
between the ages of
I'm-
18 and 24, do you really care how much of a caregiver someone is? Like to
No,
a certain
no,
capacity?
you don't care how much of a caregiver somebody is, but you would care how much that person, number one, appreciates you and appreciates like the efforts that you put in, the things that you do. Not even just with her, but even just for yourself in your daily life, right? Like, the efforts that you put in to making yourself a better person and preparing yourself between the ages of 18 to 24 for your life between the ages of 26 and like 35, for example, right?
Yeah.
Like, people who appreciate the effort that you're putting in right now to reap those benefits later, that's something that you can't really undermine, right? Like, that's something that 1000%, right? So if back to your point, right? Like, if I see this girl and off first glance I'm like, you know, she's not bad, she's 6 or 7, whatever, and I start talking to her, you know, like maybe feelings start to develop, you start to think like, oh, like she's like very emotionally intelligent, you can like actually hold a conversation with her, very interesting person to talk to, 1000%, yeah, that rating goes up 100%.
But you're saying you can't separate physical and emotional attractiveness.
I think at that point you can't.
Well, at that point you can't.
got to know them.
Yeah, you get
Yeah. Because it's also very hard, like when you start developing feelings for someone, right? And you are like, when you get close to that person, it's very hard to then look at yourself and be like, yeah, but this person's not really that attractive. Because at that point, like who gives a shit, right? Like as long as they're like, you know, as long as you actually think that they're like attractive, just
I don't even think you'll have the capacity to know that though. You'll be already in love with them
like you wouldn't think so.
You wouldn't even be able to stop for 1 second and be like, yo, is this person actually attractive?
Exactly. And that's a perfect way to put it.
Because then if that's the case, you're probably not as in love with them as you think you are.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. It's just I've heard different responses with that question. They were saying how like you can't separate it. You might be in love with her, but like physically she hasn't changed. She's still like a 6 feet. But you love her.
Then you're not in love with her.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know.
That's my answer to that.
That's
If
same one.
If at a certain point, if you really think to yourself like, I'm in love with this person,
that has to be holistic.
Yeah. At that point, their looks don't even matter. Anymore.
Yeah.
You should be in love with everything. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just me though.
That's what they always say, and I'm like, I don't trust you.
Yeah.
It's true,
but
it's
you know what they do say? They say in a marriage, you before you get married, you have 2 eyes open, and after you get married, you have 1 eye closed. And what does that mean? It's like, if you're going to be willing to be with someone long term, you have to be willing to just like...
You have to be willing to accept a few things. Right?
Accept a few things, exactly,
Changes.
right?
For sure.
Accept a few things. But also give people grace. Like, I think, here's another thing. Like, people that tend to get angry at their partners, especially when they're young, like 21, and you're like, yo, they're just 21. You know what I mean? Like, they have...
You're young. You're still trying to figure
so
out
many things I got to figure out on how to properly balance, you know? Like, you know, I still don't believe burnout is real. And I got to... you know what I mean? And
Maybe in a couple years.
That's what I mean, right? And it's like, I'm definitely going to take a while. Like is that something I really want for my kids? Yeah, probably not. You know what I mean? That's what's probably going to make me successful. Or at least what I believe is going to make me successful, take care of them. But do I want them doing that? Probably not.
Probably not. And even like Karina was talking about like suppressing your emotions, right? Like, I feel like that's something that me and Steven are trying to like work on as much as we can recently, which is like not necessarily like suppressing your emotions, not really just like pushing them down and bottling them up, but figuring it out. I guess a way to like voice them without letting them take over your life, right? And I feel like that's something that, for example, right now, that's something that I'm trying to work on, right? And obviously, I feel like everybody has their own thing that they're working on to, you know, make themselves better and like better themselves for the future. And that's just like one of those examples of, you know, just being young and trying to figure things out for yourself, trying to figure out the rest of your life, you know, trying to figure out different ways to deal with different things that might arise. So,
do you think it's like the toxic masculinity thing? Like for guys suppressing
elaborate toxic masculinity.
Yeah, elaborate.
Because here's the thing. Well, that's the thing. What is toxic masculinity?
Yeah.
Damn.
Objectively, we might be toxic.
I did not expect that question.
Yep. Flip.
Because I'll put it on you like this. Omar lives with 5 girls. 5 girls?
4.
4 girls.
Like co-ed house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Co-ed house.
Four girls and a guy.
The way you said that, I was like,
yeah, no, crazy bachelor right here.
No.
But no, so last year, do you remember when that guy comes knocking on the door? Like some guy was just like causing trouble. I remember. And like, don't be like, you guys are like all the time, like toxic masculinity, I feel like gets thrown at us, especially because some of the opinions we might hold. And then like some like guy ends up knocking on the door, and it's definitely a dangerous situation. But it was definitely ironic that like the first people the girls came running to, I was there too, was both of us and being like, you have to go talk to them, make sure that we're safe. And
I
it's
would
like,
do the same.
And it was funny because it's like the whole time like they're like, you guys need to be doing this better, but it's almost like you kind of like you know what I mean? Nobody wants us to be there until it's actually time to like.
But that's why I also want you to kind of explain a little bit more. What do you specifically? Because I feel like everyone just throws around like, oh, toxic masculinity. But what do you specifically mean by that?
Yeah.
In that context, it was just like, you guys as men, you just don't like want to express your emotions because it's not
That's
manly
bad.
to do that.
That's bad. Yeah.
And I think it's
Like
I think it's
crying.
more of a
But
cultural
I don't
thing.
think crying is
Really?
No, hold on,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I have my opinion on that, right? So I think it's more of a cultural thing.
Yeah.
I think different cultures see it differently. For my culture specifically, men don't cry, right? Is that right? Absolutely not.
I think it is right.
I've seen my father cry one time my whole life,
Yeah.
right?
I've never seen my dad cry.
You got to be careful who you cry.
I
Me
think
neither.
exactly. That's one thing. You
That's
got to
what it
really be
is.
careful who you cry in front of.
Oh.
And you got to really be careful because you don't want you got to make sure you're crying in front of the right person,
Right.
because you don't want that person using it
It's like
against
this.
you later
It's
on.
like this. It's like this. I remember talking to my girlfriend about this. She was like, "Oh, I was in the middle of a group project, and like one of my group mates had to leave because you had to go to therapy." And I'm like, "Okay, that's fine." I'm like, she's like, "Yeah, like we were all like super happy and supportive for him, and we're like, we thought that was a really good thing because like we think men need to get more in touch with their emotions anyways." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, that's cool, but like." If you're having a crisis, like, would you ever trust that person and call them and dump a lot of stuff on them? Because, like, to some degree, you know that they're probably have a limited capacity as well. And it's the same with crying.
Yeah.
You cry in front of someone, and that's fine. Like, you'll probably receive support and things like that. But
The perception
subconsciously,
changed.
you're losing some of their trust because they know that, like, you've shown weakness.
Oh,
in a-
that's
in
what I think all the
Some
time.
capacity.
I know.
That's why I don't
Right?
cry.
You're
I've never
just
cried
so
for
bad
Karina,
with this.
ever.
We've known each other for 3 years. I've lived with her for 3 years.
Yeah.
I've never seen this girl cry.
And even if that's probably not the way it is, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you should be able to trust and have good people around you
I-
that you
but
know
I
that you
trust
know
her.
won't.
You gotta have at
But
least
then
like
you
one
don't.
person.
But
But I
you gotta
do.
be strategic. You gotta
You,
be
you gotta
strategic.
have at least like one or two people in your life where you feel like no matter
That you
what,
cried too.
they will be there for you.
Yeah.
And they will kind of listen to you no matter what the
Yeah.
problems are. And you know that you're going to reciprocate that. So you know that there's no like with you and that person, you know, like no matter what happens, they still know that you're strong and you still know that they're strong and you can like
Yeah.
kind of like support each other.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes, you know, you just got to let some emotions out, got to let some, you know.
You guys, when was the last time you guys cried?
I plead the fifth. Nah, I don't actually
good.
remember. Might have been something like, maybe last week. I don't even know.
Okay. It's not like 2 years ago or like when I was
No,
5.
I don't know. It's probably,
Well, that's the thing,
I've
like-
been fortunate.
Yeah.
Last year a lot. Definitely last year a lot.
Yeah.
I was going through it, but this year,
Have you cried in front of a girl you like?
yeah, my
Yeah,
girlfriend
Of
definitely.
course.
My girlfriend definitely.
Of course.
She's probably been the reason why I
Healthy.
was crying.
And he's like, why are you crying? You, man, I'm not gonna tell you that. Yeah, nah, definitely. You know, like when you're with somebody for so long, and I know like you know, Steven's in that situation, I was in that situation. You start to really like see the rest of your life with that person, and you tend to open up to them, and just, you know, and like, do I regret doing it? No, probably not, because at that time it felt like the right thing to do, right? Like it was the right thing to do. That's the person that I like felt comfortable around. That's the person I felt comfortable with. And so, you know, no regrets there whatsoever.
Was it not scary the first time you cried in front of them?
Oh yeah, but I think that's just like what brings you closer.
Yeah.
Like, did you
know what I
think
mean?
about it before you like cried, or you just like burst
You know what's
into
interesting
tears?
though? Like actively now, I definitely don't want to continue doing that. Like I'm super mindful of not doing that. I just don't think operating
doing
in
what?
extremes,
Yeah.
especially with girls, man.
Not crying?
Yes.
Operating in extremes with emotions in general, not yelling, not crying. You know, as much
Well,
as you
yelling,
can, trying to stay
yeah,
level.
for sure.
Yeah,
See, that's toxic masculinity.
yelling. Yeah.
Why do you
yelling,
need
for
to
sure.
yell? Or like, why do you need to like freaking check where I'm at? Like sometimes
Checking where
like-
you're at is crazy. Yeah,
Yeah,
checking
check
where
where
you're
you're
at is
at.
crazy.
I feel
like-
like that's more of a girl
Because
thing.
it's
though.
an insecurity thing, though. No. Like,
Guys?
oh, the guys who are like,
Oh,
oh my
really?
God. Like, here's the other thing. I'm
You
a,
were just fortunate.
no,
You
like,
just
one thing I
so bad.
realized, number one, like, as much as it hurts a guy, you can't tell a girl what she's gonna wear. You know what I mean?
Oh, thank you.
Number two, you gotta let her go out
damn.
to the club by herself. Like, that's just gonna, like, and here's
Yeah.
the other thing is like, what does it say about you? Like, number one, if a person's gonna cheat on you, a person's gonna cheat on you. You know what I mean? Like, they're not gonna, you know what I mean? And
It
I get
doesn't
the
matter if
whole.
you-
Can we get
like,
like an air
hold up.
horn feedback, like an air horn effect on that one? Like, eh.
Right? Because like people that cheat are good. You know what I mean? Like they're not like. I got like.
They're
I'm
not
a-
making right decisions.
Yeah, like you came to university and you're surprised by how many people are cheating on their significant others. Like it's a lot.
No, it's
Oh,
crazy.
yeah.
crazy.
I want to
I
pick
think
Oh,
that's
yeah.
so normal.
At McMaster University, 30% of people easily are all
Thirty.
cheaters. I just want to.
I'm not even,
Damn.
I wouldn't even be surprised if it was more.
I said
30,
beware.
That's a
Nah.
lot.
But that was especially a struggle for me because first couple of years university, I'm going to a different school than my girlfriend at the time. And
Yeah.
like we're on completely two different kind of paths. Like I'm over here, hustle culture, you know, trying to do my thing and pave it out for me. And she's going out a lot, especially in first year, because that was just kind of like the norm over there. And I'm struggling, especially with like what she's wearing, where she's going.
Yeah. Also, it's like first year college. It's
yeah. And then there's no wonder we ended up breaking up. Like that's exhausting. Like you're constantly having to justify to someone why you should be able to live life at 20 years old and have some kind of of independence at that time. And I'm not saying that there's probably a little bit of an argument that can be made on the other side. Like, you know what I mean? Like, is there a line that girls sometimes cross when it comes to the dress thing?
The
while
answer
they're in
is
relationships? Yeah, 100% probably. Like, I also don't think it's completely necessary sometimes to be like going all the way to the top. But I have guys who are like, my girl's not allowed to go to the club if it's with her friends.
And what do you think about that?
No, like I don't see like why it should be like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you should be able to trust that your girlfriend is gonna go and support her friends and just hang out with them. You know what I mean? And have fun. Like it'd be different if like the group of friends she has or have some malicious intent and disrespect your relationship. Like I've had situations like that where like the group of girls my girlfriend's out with is like inviting a guy that she used to like talk to you know what I mean? I'm like,
that's where you're doing.
And then that's where I'm like, okay, that's not gonna happen again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I hope you recognize that too. But like if it's like girls that are trying to go out and you know what I mean, just enjoy the night, you're 20 years old. Because the other thing is too, you draw boundaries on people like that. Yeah. The only thing that comes out of it is resentment. And how do you move forward with a relationship if there's resentment on either side? You resent her because she wants to go do it. She resents you because she wants to go do it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Do you think you guys broke up because it was like more of trust issues for you?
I was just too emotionally, like at that time, I really was just super dependent on her. Like I had never, like I was just so scared of losing her. And that's the worst part is like when you're so scared to lose someone, you hold on to them so tight. And that's really what it is. You know what I mean?
Do you think it was more like your insecurities or your insecurities in her that she can go out and
my
do
insecurities for sure. My insecurities for sure. And it wasn't even just a going out thing. I'd say that's probably like 20% of it, but it was other insecurities about other things as well. You know what I mean? And like just voicing those and like ultimately it came to a clash. But I think it was needed. Like I think every guy needs to have his like
heartbreak.
Absolute soul crushed by a girl, like absolutely just like soul crushed by a girl, like to the point where like you think you're never going to be able to recover, right?
That scares me.
Yeah,
because like you'll never be able to recover from it.
Nah,
then your future partner.
You recover.
No, you recover. But like for the short term.
But they'll always,
you go back.
They'll always have a special place in your heart, though.
But we were,
of course. Like, and I'm the kind of person that thinks you can never really fall out of love with someone. You just
I don't think you can fall out of love with someone.
Whoa.
Right? I don't think you fall out of unless like in very extreme situations.
No, even then, swear to God,
right?
People get back together with cheaters all the time.
Yes, but it's under different terms. Now, I remember when I was in first year, the girl I was with at the time, we had broken up, and then we ended up getting back together, right? Like a month later. So very similar situations to what happened with Steve, except for him it was like what, like 4 months?
It's like 7, brother.
7 months? Okay, on me, fam. My bad, I forgot. Anyway, so 7 months later, they got back together, right? Now, whole time I thought like I basically went through the same thing that he went through, right? We were like, okay, I broke up with my girl, I got back together, he broke up with whatever. It's completely different. Like, it's completely different. The like a 1 month separation versus a 7 month separation versus what you feel like for now is an indefinite separation are 3 completely different things. But I also do feel like they need to happen because I feel like you can only really take a next step in your life when something like pretty drastic happens, when you have like a drastic change in your lifestyle. And for me, like that drastic change was losing the person that at the end of the day I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with, right? So that's it really just changes your perspective on things, but you do end up getting through it, right? Like it's been like a month and a half now. It still hurts obviously, but you still live your life, you know. You still do what you have to do, you just don't let it weigh you down. It
gets easier every day. The hard part is just you got to go through it every day.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just about timing. It's really just timing. You can't do anything about it.
No, 100%.
Because you know there's those movies, like we talked about this in the last episode, but like Notebook. And it's like...
I've never watched
I have, I was going to...
I'm not surprised.
The movie with Sydney...
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. There's a couple other rom-coms that I absolutely love.
Banger.
But
like in general, the idea of like a guy...
will wait for you. Is that what it is? Yeah.
Like, you don't like... That's the thing about like falling out of love. Like, I never fell out of love with you because you were the one who... I don't know. Who I fell in love with first. And that's so like... hard on.
Yeah, I think that's true. But I think it's just like this though. Like to a certain degree, like I think you'll definitely remember the person. It's like you have people you remember along the way. You know what I mean? But
of course.
But it's not like if that person comes back, you'll be like, okay, yeah.
Part of getting older is acknowledging that person probably isn't the best for you. Because it comes down to temporary and short-term validation. Like that person is gonna make you feel good in the short term, but probably in the long term end up just being the wrong fit.
Yeah. It's a very mature way to think about it. Like instead of resenting or hating that person, you're just like, okay, we loved each other. Our time is done.
Yeah.
You know, you
and it's
on.
like, you know, like, and it doesn't have to mean that like that time was wasted, right? Like,
it's not wasted,
You know, it was a great 4 years. It was a great however long it was, right? Like,
but people change.
You appreciate it, but at the end of the day, the person that you got with might not be the person that you ended up breaking up with at the end of the day.
You never step into the same river twice. That's the bar.
You did that though. You literally did that.
No, because people change. 7 months later down the line, 7 months later down the line, you're a completely different person.
Okay.
Completely different person. I had 7 months.
But it's also, but hold on. It's 7 months until you guys got back together. There was still change going on after you guys got back together for probably like a few months after that. Exactly. So it's not the same relation. At the end of the day, you're basically a completely different relationship. So
okay. So do you guys think you can love only once, or there's like that true love?
No.
Soulmate.
No.
You meet different people. You have different kind of loves for.
Bro, I'm the kind of person that'll tell you can love more than one person at the same time.
Yes, that's what I think. We fully believe you can love more than one person at the same time.
I think you can love more than one person at the same time.
Oh, at the same time.
Yes,
I agree with that.
1,000%. I truly believe.
Okay, I also believe in that.
I truly believe you can have enough love.
I've seen that happen with like people around me.
So have I.
Yeah.
So have I.
You know?
No, I think like you can love, but it's not like the same. You love one person more.
Nope.
No, because it's not. They're not like
you can love one person differently, but like a tiny bit differently. At the end of the day, to you, when you really think about it, if I look at you, I say, "Oh, do you love person A?" I'll say, "Yeah." Do you love person B? I'll say, "Yeah."
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, you love that person because of whatever the memories that you have and what you're hanging on to. The other person you might love for the actual person right now.
Yeah, but they're not like.
But
it's not absolute. They're just relative.
Yeah.
Like, you know the magnitudes. The magnitudes can be the same.
Vampire Diaries.
Yeah.
Damon and Stefan.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he loves her because.
Yeah.
I'm just not in the head.
Oh, they had the girl from Toronto in Vampire Diaries. What's her name again? She was on Degrassi.
Who?
Oh, I know you're talking about. I can't remember her name.
The model. What's her name?
Yes.
Who was the girlfriend of the guys in the show?
Nina Dobrev?
Yes.
She's Canadian?
Yeah, I think she's from Toronto.
I think so.
What? I remember she's Canadian because we watched another movie with her and it was like based in Canada, I think.
She went to school at Ryerson, I think.
What?
Oh.
Fun fact. Yeah.
Damn. A lot of people are actually Canadian, the ones that you don't expect. So like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, would you be weirded out if your girl is sharing the same bed with her gay friend?
Huh?
The fuck?
Is that weird?
Sorry, I had
gay,
to,
like she's a lesbian or
No,
he's a guy?
No.
Hell no.
He's gay.
He is a guy, but he's
Is
gay.
he confirmed gay?
Would I hold on? What
Is
you
he
mean? Would I
confirmed gay?
would I be weirded out?
Yeah.
No, that shit just not happening. What you mean weirded out? That's
Wait,
not
is like he confirmed gay?
He's confirmed
He's
gay.
out, yeah.
He's gay.
He's
What
out or he's confirmed
What
gay?
you mean? Because I know
What do you
people
Like he has a boyfriend?
like you know what I mean?
No, but he's gay.
No.
Really?
So it's not okay.
No.
Like
I
it's
don't
not
know.
happening.
I'll cross that bridge when I get there. Yeah.
I'm not even building that bridge for me to have to cross it.
Yeah.
No, that's not happening. That's
Really?
crazy. That's okay. Would you want your boyfriend to sleep in the
been
same bed as a
asked
girl
that.
who's a lesbian?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
No, you're
I'm
not.
not.
No, you're not.
I'm with him on this. I'm
No,
not.
you're not.
It's
No,
For
you're
me,
not.
I would have to have met her first.
What's with the meetings?
What,
Like,
like,
yeah.
what is? Yeah, what is that?
What do you mean?
What is that?
If I know her, if I've met her,
Yeah, but what makes? Oh.
it makes a difference because I'm
It
like
does make a
I've
difference,
actually
though.
like
When
met
you're
this person.
malicious-
How do you know you've actually met that person?
Yeah,
and not
when you're
just what that person
malicious.
wants
Well,
to
it
do?
makes
When
me
you're
a little- it makes
malicious,
me
it's
feel a little
very
better.
easy to manipulate people because
Yeah.
you don't care. You know what I mean? Like you don't care.
I answering your question. I'm not a guy, but also it's weird.
Yeah.
Thinking just like my boyfriend will be sleeping in a bed with a girl who's gay. Fuck.
That's not. Nah, that's
Is it a
crazy.
queen or like
That's
a king? Like
crazy.
how close do they have to be?
It's a queen.
It's a twin.
It's a queen. Nah, that's crazy.
They were like, I agree.
Really?
Is there like a pillow wall?
Like
down
I
the
get that
middle?
it's weird, but I wouldn't like you would be you would not like it to happen.
If
I
it,
would
okay,
not
here's the
want
thing.
it to
Like
happen for
if
sure.
the guy is 100% confirmed gay, I wouldn't mind if they're both sleeping in like their
They're
own
like
twin
friends.
bed in one room.
Yeah,
But
no,
sharing a bed is that's on some mod shit.
interesting.
Nah,
Interesting.
that's not
Okay.
happening.
Do you have any last questions? Wait.
No, that was my only
I guess that was
question.
your last
that was my burning question.
Hold on. Last one before we go. Red
Yeah.
flags and guys. I'm actually curious.
I wanted to ask the icks and girls, but
Icks and
we
girls.
can-
Okay,
Oh,
great.
we'll
We
do
should
it
get
her.
those too.
Red flags and
red
guys.
flags. bad relationship with mother.
She touches random guys for no reason.
Hold on. You said bad relationship with mother is a red flag? Interesting.
Yeah, no one should hate their mom.
100%.
No, I know, but I've heard a lot of times like
close
a
to
red
his
flag
mom.
is too good of a relationship with your mom.
No,
That's that too. It has to be a well balanced.
It has to be
relationship
well-
with
Just
your
don't
mom.
talk to your mom.
But
Just
like-
please don't talk to your mom.
But like for me,
Like,
You
have to
talk
hit her, but
every
you don't
other
have to,
day.
yeah.
you have to like appreciate the woman in your life,
Yeah, for sure.
and
Of
that's the
course.
first woman you know. So
Of
like,
course.
Red flag, lots of female friends.
Lots of female
Facts.
friends is a red flag.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay, how do you guys feel about like someone who like? I'm actually curious about this. So I was talking the other day with my girlfriend's roommates, and she's like, I could never imagine a guy who like I'd be out with him and like he'd be saying hi to all these girls he used to like, you know what I mean? Just be like getting with. Like if he's like known, you know what I mean? Let's say you go to a bar with him, and it was like 3 girls that he used to just like for the purpose of the podcast hang out with. You know what I mean? And they're coming up to him and saying hi. How does that make you feel?
not good.
Well, obviously, it wouldn't
Not
make me feel
good.
good. But I feel like if you already know about it, you can't do anything. You've accepted that.
But think of it this way, right? Because I like to think of it this way. If you go out with a guy at a bar and there's 3 girls that come up to him and they say hi, that says 2 things about him. Number 1, it says that he's a good guy.
He's not a
because
serial killer.
Because he's actually saying hi back.
Because
And number
I
two-
wouldn't think about that.
And number 2, it means that, you know, like these girls actually enjoyed their time with him more than just whatever it was. No. Like more than just whatever. Because you're not just going to go and say hi
He's
to
a nice
somebody.
guy.
Facts.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy, right? Versus if you're going out with a guy and whatever girl comes to say hi to him, he just completely ignores her completely.
I agree with that.
Right?
I agree
Then
with that.
you
'cause,
then
like,
you start to think like, oh, like maybe this guy's a dickhead, maybe this guy's doing this, maybe this guy's doing that. So
You definitely say
There's
hi
a little bit
back,
of
but you don't do anything other than that. You just say hey,
yeah,
and then you move on.
because I'm the same. Like I don't like fully ignoring people and like blocking them out of my life. So it's like if you had that, if I know about this experience, like say hi.
If anything, it makes me
Like-
like question them more. Like, why are you ignoring them like that? Like, why are you like what
Yeah.
happened? Why are you avoiding them?
Yeah.
no,
so
I think
it's like,
I think
say
blocking
hi,
people
but
and cutting them out of your life has to be one of the most childish things you could ever do in your life.
It's just like I said,
actually.
just don't operate in extremes. Because later down the line, you can always leverage them in some kind
Always
of way.
move in the gray.
Yeah.
It's not like she's not gonna sit down with us and like catch up. It's like hi, okay, move on.
But it's more so about like
next.
your guy is known as like that guy.
No,
who,
but
everyone's had a piece of that pie.
Oh,
Bar.
that sounds so bad. You make it sound
Yeah,
so
why'd
bad.
you
Bar.
make it sound like that?
That
What
rhymes.
if you're
If that's
both
the
like
case,
that?
we're moving to
What
another
if your
city.
girl's
What if
like
you were
that?
both? What if you were both like that?
Oh.
Then I guess it's not that.
Ah.
But if
Shout
you're one
out.
body for body, it gets a little.
I
The
was
lines
about to
get a little.
say,
Just like
does the body count matter for you?
100%
For a
does.
girl?
Surely it
does.
does.
plead the
Like,
fifth
It
again.
does.
No,
This
for
time
real.
I
It
actually
does,
plead
it
the
does.
fifth.
And I'm
It
gonna
does.
keep it as
Of course
simple
it
as possible. I'm gonna keep it as simple as possible. What it takes for a guy to get a girl to go home with him is not the same as what it takes a girl to go home with the guy.
That is true. That is true.
I gotta be 6'7", blue
But-
eyes, basketball team
but hold on,
to have
but-
a chance.
But that being said, I also think your body count matters for a guy as well. Like I don't think
Okay,
it's. I
but
don't
do you
think
think
it's.
the
Yeah.
bar is
Body counts do
different?
matter for a guy. I will say this.
Are the
yes.
bars set at the same level?
Yes.
No.
I don't believe so.
No.
However,
100% no.
I would love to be the kind of guy where like every girl is trying to get with me, but I choose to be with my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Oh, that's so good. But I just had this conversation with my
Steven, you're
friend.
really a great guy.
And I've had this conversation with my friend, and she was saying how the guy that she was talking to was like asking about her body count, but then he was weirded out because he had less.
See, that's the thing.
Oh.
It's
But-
it's a
okay,
weird.
But how much
Hers-
lesser?
Hers wasn't even that. He had 2 and she had 4.
Oh, that's not.
That's not that bad.
That's not that.
But
bad.
then,
In today's time and age.
but like it's back then. Culture is different.
Oh, that's true.
But still,
Motherfucker,
she was
2 and
like,
4?
why does it matter for
Yeah.
you? Like you knew this. This is also a thing. Like you
Because-
knew this
yeah,
coming into a
yeah.
relationship.
Because it also says okay, like
Says
forgetting
character.
that specific example, because like 2 and 4, that's fine,
Yeah.
right? But like it says a lot about your character as both a guy and a girl if your body count is past a certain level,
Yeah.
right? Because it's
Yeah.
I feel like it's a very intimate thing.
I agree.
It's hard.
So-
Fam, it's temporary validation at the end of the day.
Yeah,
You
that-
were if you have a
that's the
pattern,
other side
people
of it.
operate in patterns all the
Yeah.
time. What you've done once, you've probably done it
Could do it
before. You
again.
know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're, you're especially
there's-
younger,
and
and
there's
you're trying to
studies on
make a
this,
bet.
man, like-
Let's say you're not just trying to sleep around with people. You're trying to bet on someone and go long term in a relationship with them.
Mm-hmm.
If they've been, previously kind of succumbing to temporary validation, especially at like a high level, we're getting 30, 40 now. What is that probably going to indicate for like the future relationship? Unless, there's some kind of drastic action taken for them to acknowledge and kind of figure out a way to move forward. But things transfer on. How you do one thing is how you do everything at the end of the day. So if you're giving up temporary validation and succumbing to that kind of short term, whatever, on this side, you're probably doing it in other stages of your life. And that's when it gets kind of destructive, especially when you're agreeing to be responsible for somebody else in a relationship.
And there's studies that have been done on this. Like there's studies that like relate a bunch of different aspects of your life to the amount of sexual partners that you've had, or like the amount of even just relationships that you had in general.
Yeah.
So it really is telling about a person, like who they choose to let into like that intimate of a part of your life. So
Okay.
I think that's why it kind of plays a role.
I really want to know this. Out of your personal experience, what is the average of body count for guys?
Yo, I lived in a crazy house.
So here's the thing. There's some people that like there's some people I know that
like
tank it.
I have
you
friends that
know,
have like hundreds.
Yeah,
I have friends that are in hundreds. Like I came in to first year at Mac, like called like shocked.
Shook. Yeah,
like
yeah,
just
yeah,
shocked.
yeah,
Like the first
yeah.
3
Shook,
months of the
sorry,
house I
shook.
was living in, like was insane.
Here's the thing.
Because
Before,
there's like a whole culture on sports.
let's just say before I came to McMaster,
Sports.
like the person I knew with the highest body count maybe had like 20.
Yeah.
I came to McMaster.
20
That
at 18 is
number was
also crazy.
multiplied by like 6.
Wait, for real?
Yeah, like that ass.
Yeah,
That ass.
yeah.
It
There's some
was bad.
scary. There's
It
some
was
scary
bad.
people out
It
there.
was
man.
bad.
Okay,
yeah.
but is it like it's not everyone? It's like maybe sports guy, but then there is
No,
like
I
a
think
No.
there's the regular
No.
people
Really?
too.
I think
Yeah.
university.
To the point you start getting in your own head, you're like,
It's
yo,
like,
should
wait,
I have
should
40?
okay. So what's like average still? I want to hear like a number.
I still
What-
think like
that's
as low as possible is
like,
good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
That's
no,
for
the
me.
average for guys.
The average we've
Oh.
At
encountered
Mac,
for
let's
guys.
I don't know.
I don't
That's
know.
like I genuinely, there's a
Like-
lot of like
like
invisible
50,
guys. Probably
60.
zero. Probably like
Yeah.
0 point something. Bro, like it's hard
Because there's a lot of
Guys
guys
are
on this
invisible.
campus that probably
guys are invisible.
Yeah.
Like I make it a point to say hi to everyone I know just because like if
You
you're
don't
not
know-
saying
you
hi to
don't know
them,
how
that
that's
person
gonna
is
affect
probably not
someone's
going to get
day.
acknowledged by anybody
Exactly.
else, especially as a guy. Right? Like how many guys just live
Especially
invisible
as a guy.
invisible lives of loneliness, right? Like
Mhm.
a girl like to a certain degree will always have someone trying to hit her up. You know what I mean? A guy,
No.
you know?
I don't necessarily agree with
No.
that. Like I kind of agree with
You
that.
see where I'm coming
But
from?
I
bro.
see where you're coming from. But also at the same time, you never know, right? You never even know like the day that somebody's having. You know, maybe somebody woke up in the morning and you know they're feeling like shit. So you can go up to that person, you say hi, you wave at the people you know, like you hold the door open for somebody, you know, you tell them to have a good day, this, that. Whatever you could do to just, you know, bring a little bit of happiness, bring a little bit of positivity into somebody's
It
life.
comes back.
It comes back to you.
It
you know?
comes back.
Okay, and then our last question. You talked me this. I think you forgot this split 50.
Oh.
Splitting the bill.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's so annoying, man.
Yeah.
That's
It-
another
it-
thing too.
it's-
Is like, why do guys have to pay every single time?
Nah, because hold on. No. Because hold on.
Brother, I'm
Right.
20. We in the same boat,
You're right,
struggling.
you're right,
Literally
but-
in the
Same
same
boat.
boat,
Thank you.
struggling.
But it comes to a point where splitting the bill, just like when we were talking about going clubbing with or without your partner, what you wear to the club, all that stuff is going to be completely different
Forever.
by relationship,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like I know couples where the girl in the relationship never had to touch a bill, like ever, right?
Or a door.
or a door, or anything at all, right?
Yeah.
That should be okay.
But-
Wait,
no,
that should
I'm
be
not-
what?
I'm
like
not
allowed
saying-
or not allowed?
She's saying that should be like completely normal.
That's normal.
I'm not saying it's not normal.
No, of
right?
course,
I'm just
of course,
saying
of course,
Like
of
bill?
course.
100%,
door.
100%. But I also know of relationships where they split everything unless it's like a special occasion, like a birthday or
But
Valentine's Day. or
dynamic
something
is
like
different
that,
though.
right?
Dynamic
So
is different.
Yeah, it is completely different.
Is the
and it
guy
just-
as much of a traditional masculine role in there? Probably not. Does your girl respect you like, to 100%? Probably not. No, I'm just keeping it on a
Really,
buck.
At
like,
the end of the day, it
Okay,
really
for
comes
you
down
personally
to
though, when
I pay every time.
Every single time.
Every
what if
single
it's a
time.
first
What if-
date? First date with
Yeah,
a
you
girl.
have to
Yeah,
pay.
no,
You
he's
have
already
to
paying.
pay.
First
You
date
have
the
to
guy.
pay.
Okay,
has
no,
to pay.
no. What if you're in a relationship, like a long-term one, but
Bro,
she
you shouldn't
earns,
change. You treat your girl like
No,
the
no,
same
no.
way you did on her first date
no,
when
no,
you're
no,
trying to
she
press her.
earns more than you.
Yeah.
She earns significantly more than you.
I don't
Brother,
matter.
get to work.
Like,
You know what I mean?
get to work.
Thank you. Oh my god.
Yeah,
But
like I'm
then
not
again,
gonna lie,
my mom,
right?
my
Like,
mom probably like triples what my dad makes a year, right? So it wasn't always like that, right? Like they came and he was the only one working, and then my mom rose through the
Changes.
ranks
Dynamic
fast. And,
changes.
Yeah.
yeah, and I think
It definitely
now-
depends
And
on
it-
the
it
But yo,
relationship.
does she hold it over his head like all the time, like low key? Probably. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
But would it be like, would you kind of like expect your girl to like treat you to dinner sometimes, or
yeah.
like?
Oh well, yeah,
Yeah, why
one too.
not?
But I think what I'm looking for
Why
from
not?
her is
I
probably
can't
a
lie.
little bit different
It
than what
feels
she
really
feels
nice when
nice.
you go out to a nice restaurant, you drop like $150 or $180 on a dinner, and then she buys you a little ice cream.
Oh,
after,
does
you
that
know?
actually
It's just
feel
like a
nice?
little- Of course,
It's
it
like
does.
a reward.
Yeah, of course it feels nice.
Okay, good to
To a
know.
degree.
You know,
She's
to a
acknowledging
degree,
it.
you know, like
Or at least, can she try to pay? That's another thing.
yeah. That's the thing. Like,
Brother,
like don't be
reach.
going to a
Reach
date.
in the wallet
Like,
and
don't be going
leave.
to a date without your wallet, looking in your
Right,
bag,
right,
like, oh,
right.
there's my lipstick right there. You know, like,
Do you
that's
like
not-
if she goes like, okay, are we splitting? If she says that first,
Do you want her
what
to
would
like
say?
offer?
No, ideally the guy's already paid the bill
Yeah.
before
Yeah,
the date's
yeah,
even
yeah,
done.
yeah.
You just ask to go to the bathroom and just pay it off.
Right.
Yeah.
But
there.
the
That's
And
how
say,
I know
"Let's
she's
go."
in a
That's fine.
relationship. All
But
the
the
answers
but
are
the
very-
door thing is kind of crazy though. Like, what if you're walking in front of him and you're like, oh wait, here, open the door for me.
You push her like this, 2 hands.
Yeah. No, as a guy, you like push her aside, open the door, push her.
Yes. So inconvenient.
No.
It's the little things. It's the little things.
Yes.
It's really the little things that matter, right? And it's both for the guy and the girl.
Yeah.
But it's just different things, right? Like as a girl, there obviously are like some little things that you do for your man to kind of like make them feel special, make them feel valued, whatever it is. And as a guy, it's the same thing that you do for.
I feel like there's just like feminine, masculine energy.
I think that's what it is.
Like guy opening the door is like the masculine energy that he's giving out, and she's receiving that.
It's important.
So like when a girl does that for herself, there would like when I see couples walking and the girl opens the door herself, I'm like, huh? What are you saying right now? Because it's not again like paying a bill is different. Like maybe he's not earning money right now.
I will say this: my girlfriend grew up in a single parent household, so it's just her mom, and there's definitely some differences there. Where she'll be like, I don't want you touching the door for me because that means like I'm reliant on you in some kind of way.
I see. Right? Yeah, I mean, it's just the door.
So for a while, it was like, no, but even little things like that was a while. It was like, oh, like I know you can open a door for yourself, but it's more like, so about you don't have to.
Like you want to do it for her.
Yeah. Against making your life easier.
Yeah. Like we're not removing your capacity to be able to do it. We're just, we love you and we want to be responsible for you in that, kind of capacity.
And I also feel like just when it comes to paying the bill, right? Because I feel like a guy should pay on the first date, at the very least on the first date. Or if you're going out with like a girl, like most of the time you'll pay. I also feel like you should be choosing where you go very wisely, depending on your certain financial level. Like don't be doing dumb shit. Harbor 60 is actually the dumbest. Like Harbor 60 has to be the dumbest restaurant.
We're trying to get the endorsement. Harbor 60 is a great restaurant.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Their steaks are great.
People going there should know how much they're gonna spend on the dinner.
Like you're not going to Harbor 60 and spending $80 on a dinner, my brother.
Exactly.
I've been with girls who were taken to Harbor 60 one night and still ended up hanging out with me at the end of the night.
Shout out.
We might have to remove that, but like dead ass. Like it's not the quality of the restaurant you take her to is probably what's not the most important thing. And if it is the most important thing, I don't know if she's the girl for you.
I agree.
The same girl should be willing to who's sitting in the Ferrari with you should be willing to sit on the bus with you.
Okay, but how much do you like plan into like first date? Does it like really mean you're like?
It's easier than ever. You have open tables. You have TikTok. You can Google.
There's so much. Like, there's so many options, and it doesn't have to be a restaurant.
Go get coffee and talk.
If you're going out with a girl who you only intend to sleep with, do you still put in the effort?
No.
Is it just like one time thing you met at a club?
Yes.
You put in the effort?
I think like okay, it depends. Like where did you meet this girl? Right? Like if it's a girl you met at a club,
tell us where you meet the one time
girl.
Well,
that's the thing. I don't know.
Club.
Like if you meet a girl at a club, then it's probably you're gonna take her.
Club is a little bit different though. Yeah, club is a little bit different. You just take her home from the club.
But if you meet a girl at a bar, it's a little bit different, right? Like if you meet a girl at a bar, you just
take her home.
You get to know her.
But like
no, you're
planning
for a different day.
That's
at a bar.
Oh, that's another thing. I don't like buying drinks for random girls. That's another really random thing.
Well,
because it's just beg. Like I don't know. I feel like
it's beg. Like for
you, like you get to know her a little bit first.
Because the culture, like I feel like some girls are like so good of getting like free drinks out of guys.
Yeah.
Like I want you to know that like, brother, you're not touching my money, man. Just because you want my drink, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
There's no way. There's no way.
But yeah, at the end of the day, right? Like, no girl wants to be treated like a one night stand.
No girl doesn't want to be treated
whatever it is. So, doing to the best of your ability, if you can do the best you can to not make a girl feel like she's a one night stand, even if that is what it is, and both people know that. That's
I like this. I like this.
Like you could still like go out of your way a little bit.
I'm a big believer in this as well.
At least make the girl feel like it's not exactly what.
You know how when it's one night stand and it's like, okay, if we're eating breakfast, then it's something serious. Is that true?
Oh
no, I don't agree with that.
One night stand is with the person you want to spend Friday night with, not Saturday all day.
Yeah,
you know.
But that doesn't stop you from having breakfast with the person in the morning.
I just heard that. It's like if I have breakfast with you.
I've never made it to breakfast, actually.
There we go.
I have a rule, just don't let them sleep over.
But see, that's the thing.
We're cutting all of this.
That's the thing. Like, I don't necessarily agree with the whole like don't let them sleep over rule, right? Like I don't see why not. Right?
You don't think she's gonna get attached to you?
But then again,
brother,
I think that's like personal preference.
Yeah, we'll find out soon.
Okay, last thing, icks and girls. I'm actually curious. What is it for you? I just don't like
go like 2 icks and then
2 icks each.
Wrap it up.
First thing that comes to your mind.
Just say it. You have something on your mind. Just say it.
Okay. Can't hold a conversation about anything that isn't anything. Second one. Number
If you
two.
have a
Just can't hold a
weird
conversation period.
Yeah.
Weird laugh.
Yeah,
No,
weird.
no, I was
Really?
care about
Like
weird laughs.
nah, see to me like if I don't like your laugh,
Yeah,
it's like
you
it's
can't-
actually
I get that
it's
though.
Big one.
actually an
I
issue.
don't know. What's another ick?
Especially for girls, because we're so loud. And we laugh so loud.
Loud? I don't know.
Oh yeah, loud girls.
Loud
Oh,
girls.
loud.
Like if you like
Wow.
loud, like
Oh,
that's,
is that Nick
Angry?
too?
stress. Yeah,
Oh.
a little bit.
Angry?
A little bit.
Yeah. If she was like, if they're volatile,
If you like,
like you know, girls that try to fight and pick up
Yeah.
guys.
yo,
Yeah.
I'd be. I am cheese.
You'd be
at that,
cheese?
Yes. Yeah. Chill.
But yeah, no, that
Interesting.
loud girls.
Look, anything
Girls
that's
that
small.
don't. No, girls that don't. No, for me it's small.
Like
Physically?
Yeah, like anything. Like,
Oh,
you
like,
do them,
like-
like daily.
I'm a big like shoe guy. Like your shoes gotta be like clean to a certain extent, and you gotta like,
clean.
you know what I mean? Like don't be rocking
Clean
your
shoes.
Nails, clean nails.
nails.
Karina says
Another
that
big
all the
one.
time.
Clean nails.
Nails
Always
are a big one
appreciate-
for me.
Yeah.
Nails are a big one
100%.
for me too.
Doesn't have to be like acrylics.
Yeah, you don't
Do
gotta.
you like
you
the
don't gotta drop
acrylics?
the 100.
I don't
fucking
mind
You
it.
don't
acrylics.
mind it.
At
Oh, you like
up to a certain length, of course.
Mm.
Yes.
Because at some point it gets a
Not
little
like
bit
this.
ratchet.
too much. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, some girls do have that. But it's like,
Yeah, I know. I went to school in Toronto. believe me.
Oh yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, we knew about those.
Yeah.
But
I don't know how they operate with that.
No,
like,
it's
to be
crazy.
but yeah,
honest.
no, like there's really three things, right? Like nails, your hair, and then that's really it. Just two things. Your nails and your hair is really
said
important.
Yeah. Are you gonna be weird around my immigrant parents? That's a big one. Like Canadian girls like
Oh, is
aren't
that a thing?
respectful. Like they just don't want to
is
say
true.
hi.
That
You know what I
is
mean?
true.
That's so
Yeah.
weird. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, here's another one I hate. Like I'm a very like loud and like I don't take life too seriously, especially when I'm out in public. Like if you're getting angry at me all the time because I'm like cracking jokes and like messing
Oh.
around a little bit in public.
The same shit I was doing like 3 seconds ago.
Yeah. That's one I don't like. Where I'm like, damn. Like if you can't have fun with me because you're too concerned about what everyone around you is thinking, I don't know. It might not be the right
Just
fit.
like live, laugh, love.
Yeah. Like if we're in Bed Bath and Beyond and I shove you into a bed and you get angry because the store guy's yelling at us, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like
if I'm just doing dumb shit in a store or whatever.
You want
just,
her
like,
to do dumb
messing
shit with
around.
you.
Not necessarily do dumb shit with me, but just like
Laugh.
you know it's funny because behind
Yeah.
closed doors
Yeah.
you laughing when I do that
Right,
shit.
right,
Right? Just
right.
I'm doing it outside.
So basically, don't be
looking at me
concerned
weird.
about what people think.
Exactly.
That's a very common answer for guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come to realize.
But then you guys still look at the girls and you're like, oh my god, that's so odd. But whatever.
No.
No.
My biggest, I don't know. There's not too many girls who have been like, damn, I could never. I think conversation, like I said, for me is the biggest one. Like that's really what absolutely becomes a deal breaker for me.
Right.
Yeah.
You ask a girl, what's the last book she read? She said Harry Potter in grade 7. I don't know if we can talk again. I don't know if we can talk again.
It's a little extreme. But I don't know if I agree with that one, but that's cool.
That's like conversation makes a difference
Yeah.
for sure.
You
Yeah.
definitely do have to have a certain level of just like intellect and just knowledge about like just general
General knowledge
knowledge.
is
you know.
yeah.
It's good.
General knowledge is the bare
Goes both
minimum.
ways.
Yeah, like I've had people. This is really funny. I actually can't remember the girl's name, but we were talking and I'm talking about like we're talking about geography, and
She's Canadian.
yeah. And I think she said something along the lines of like Egypt's not in Africa. So I look at her, I'm like, where is Egypt? She said Asia, but like East Asia. I kind of lost it, but that's the kind of like general knowledge thing that I'm talking about. Was it intramurals?
Yeah.
East
Can't
Asia's
remember.
crazy.
Yeah.
East Asia is crazy.
And
Asia's
it's
crazy.
like it's I don't know.
'cause they both have
you
an
gotta
E.
have you gotta have at least a little
Probably.
bit of like general knowledge, at least enough to uphold like certain conversations that are beyond just like, hi, how are you doing? How was your day?
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Omar with the wise words. Okay, we'll throw it back to you guys then. I guess 12 o'clock right on the dot.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Well,
Hit
I
your
think
outro.
wrap it up.
I think that wraps it up.
Yes.
That was a
Yes.
good ending to the conversation.
No,
No,
we gotta cut a lot of things
Like, subscribe.
towards the end.
Like, subscribe.
do
Actually,
Follow us on
never-
IG.
Yeah.
We'll drop your IGs.
Trying to grow my IG.
And Ment.
Yes.
And Ment.
Yes.
Check it out.
We'll,
Yes,
we'll
check it
drop
out.
If you're an
Ment as
international
well.
student, hit us up. If you work in VC, hit us up.
Hit us up.
Thank
If
you
you
guys
just
for
want to
coming.
donate, hit us up as well. You know? Always looking for those random investments.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was
Thanks for
really
having us.
nice.
That was a
And
good time.
We'll
This
catch
is
you
our first
guys.
in-person podcast, so it was a
Yeah.
good experience.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, we're
Second one for
happy.
me.
There we go.
Second one for him, yeah.
How'd you guys like it?
This is really good.
That's
I'd be
nice.
down to definitely come on again.
Yeah.
This is
Okay,
really, really cool.
100%.
Episode 2.
I'm down.
Stay
I'm down to
tuned.
do part 2 for sure.
Okay, you guys heard it first. We'll see you
Thank
next
you for
episode.
watching.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.